Yes, you read that correctly. So far, by doing this one thing, I've been able to avoid getting myself involved in any kind of road rage incident, whether that was being tempted to becoming the perpetrator of some road rage, becoming the collateral damage of someone else's road rage, or even being the object of that someone else's wrath on the roads. And if you do the same thing that I always try to do before hitting the road, it should really help to keep you from committing any act of road rage out there. As well as it should also just really help you to avoid becoming a victim of any road rager out there too, like it has really helped me with avoiding both of those two major things out on the roads. In other words, doing this one thing should really help prevent you from initiating any road rage incidents yourself, or becoming a part of a road rage situation that was created and started by someone else. So what is it then? Out with it. What's this quote-unquote secret method of mine have been that has really helped to prevent any kind of road rage at all to occur in my life? It's really super simple, actually. Are you ready for it? Come closer, my friend. All right, so what it is to go early. That is it. And generally speaking, the earlier that you do go or start on your journey, the better off that you should be for avoiding this whole road rage thing. But don't be so quick to click away just yet, because you're probably going to want to stick around to hear the next major section of this video, as well, because now that you know what you really should do to help you to avoid any kind of road rage out there, you also should really stop to think about and consider this next really crucial part of this whole early journey-going process too. And it is that, then why don't a lot more people do it? Why do so many struggle with this simple, but what I found to be very effective, road-going strategy of just going early? Then, why do so many, especially the younger, appear to struggle with this simple concept so much? Well, I think a big reason or a part of all this might just actually be a physiological one, because I'm sure you've heard that a human's brain does not even fully develop until they reach 25 years of age. That probably has a lot to do with it, I'm pretty sure. And the part of our brain that comes in last is supposed to be the prefrontal cortex, the part that is actually responsible for what is called executive functioning, which includes impulse control and self-regulation, as well as planning ahead and setting long-term goals. And it looks like that is why the youth, too often times, prioritize immediate rewards over long-term consequences. So now, have you been seeing where I've been trying to go with all of this? Practically, what's been really huge amongst the youth for many years now? Social media. And what has social media been all about? That unpredictable reward loop that gives you a hit of dopamine every time that you get a new notification, or like, or follow, etc., right? And according to the experts, those are the things that have gotten so many people so hooked on it over the years. From Google Gemini, quote, "Because you never know when you'll get the next interesting post or notification, you are conditioned to keep checking your phone compulsively." End quote. That may very well be why so many of the youth are too often late for so many important dates. That, and also that fact that their brain have not fully or completely developed yet, I think are why so many of them are all too often not on time and do not think or plan ahead as much as they should, as well as probably why so many of them have not adopted this wise travel strategy of always going early. Then what should they try to do? First, recognize it all for what it really is. It's been said that before you can get to the solution, you must first properly diagnose the problem. So hopefully you've been able to pinpoint the problem and to see clearly what it is that has been tripping you up and screwing you over. Now, it's also been said if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results, that is madness. So now, add a new ability to your repertoire and life's arsenal. Learn to prioritize. Ask yourself if that possible like or comment that you might receive in the next 5 minutes is really worth you being late to this job that you need to sustain your existence with the foreseeable future. Are those social media likes really more important than you making it to your job on time? Every time? Probably not, especially if it isn't even your full-time career, or you're not a full-time online content creator. Because that's what growing up means, and what wisely thinking ahead also does. But what are the nitty-gritties and technicalities of this whole entire going early thing, though? Practically speaking, why is, It's so smart to have plenty of quote-unquote wiggle room, which is what going early is going to give you when you do make these motor vehicle journeys of yours. Because having that wiggle room should greatly reduce the things that do tend to lead to road rage. Things like panic, also being frantic and anxious and worried because you are running behind or running low on time. Not to mention how people also tend to act more desperately when they're running behind. Once again, all the things that will greatly increase your likelihood of becoming involved in any kind of road rage. Going early, of course, can really just give you that wiggle room for all those possible unexpected things as well, like unplanned delays, unknown accidents, unanticipated construction, and so on, those many other unknown and uncertain variables that are so often a part of every road trip's journey, especially the longer ones or the ones that must be taken during the busier times of city's traffic flow. And when I do go early and I run into those unexpected impediments and delays, so oftentimes I will just gently smile, knowing that I still have plenty of time and am still going to be just fine. It's such an awesome feeling, much like how in high school, when I had to get my homework done right away and then didn't have to be frantic later on, and also not be anxious throughout the rest of my evening. So, of course, in other words, going early should just be able to give you much more peace of mind. And the earlier that you do go, the more peace of mind that it all should really just be able to afford you. In life, expect the unexpected, they say, and how oftentimes the things ended up taking a lot longer than you anticipated. Well, for me, it's been more often than not. And that's why going early is a powerful buffer against all of those potential negative emotions and situations that we've just gone over. By the way, to really go early, you must first make up your mind about it. Then make a clear plan to do it. Clearly plan it out so it's all not arbitrary and wishy-washy, which all too often just leads to trouble and has a higher chance of causing you to still be late. Clearly choose and decide your departure time, and know full well all the steps that you need to take to be thoroughly and completely ready for that time, like if you need to have your lunch packed by then, as well as your clothes selected, and perhaps even your teeth brushed and so on. There's a reason why schools in first world countries are often so effective. It's because they're often so very well thought out and planned out. That's why. And it doesn't end there. Then those plans are often executed so very well also. So as you can clearly see by now, starting early, like all smart investments in this world, is the name of the game. But to start early, you have to want it and choose it in your heart and mind and then plan for it. And how early should you be planning ahead? Like 15 minutes before your departure time? No. Ideally, at least the night before. Heck, for a lot of very important dates and events in this life, in this world, the wise will anticipate and plan for them weeks, months, and sometimes even years or decades in advance. The Japanese are known to have a high average IQ and high IQ people, so very often times look ahead, because of course that would be something that a smart person does. And some of their businesses will have a plan for the next 100 years. It's little wonder to me why they've had so many highly successful world-class businesses in this past century, and they are that confident about their products and wise enough to plan for those products' endurance. Well, into the future, and there's this very wise quote that says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, as well as another one closely related to that one. That says, fortune favors the prepared. So what should you be taking away from all of this then, now that you do know exactly what this main tactic to help you to avoid road rage is? I mean, practically knowing what you do know now, what should you do to really help you to avoid any kind of road rage involvement in your near future, and hopefully throughout the rest of your life as well? Well, if you've been frequently tardy in your life, and maybe have even been involved in a few road rage incidents, too, well now, actually recognize those horrible ways for what they really were, then, as we discussed earlier, and instead of continuing on with those horrible habits of leaving late and rushing out at the last minute that you may have had throughout your life, now try to switch out those bad old habits for this new, healthier one of always trying to go as early as you can to any event or date that you need to make. Develop these new and good habits that should really lead to a significant reduction in any tardy behaviors, as well as hopefully also completely eliminating any and all future road rage involvements of any kind too, for your own well-being's sake.